Welcome to our first stop of 12 months of travel, Singapore. We arrived here at 12:30 a.m. this morning after a very, very long travel day. This is crazy because it's been like 6 months we've been waiting to do this, and like we had a countdown on our phone. And obviously the numbers go down, but it doesn't feel like it's getting close.
Felt like about 6 days.
It's always like one day we'll be at the airport about to go, but it doesn't feel real. Now it's real, but it doesn't feel real still. Does that make sense?
It's 6 a.m. We got up at 4 a.m. Rosh.
We'll go traveling today.
And we had a wedding last night, so it's been a long 24 hours to say the least, and we're in for an even longer 24 hours. What should be a 7 to 8 hour direct flight from Melbourne, we took not 1, not 2, but 3 flights to get here, all to stick to our budget. So we'll take whatever's cheapest. We flew Melbourne to Sydney, Sydney to Hong Kong, which is literally not on the way to Singapore at all, and then Hong Kong to Singapore. So a very, very long journey. We made it. It has been pouring with rain all morning. We have been walking around, moving from cafe to cafe, trying to bide our time, and it is still pouring. But we have made it here with the beautiful Marina Bay Sands in the background, and we will wait out the rain so we can take some beautiful photos. We have come here to Lau Pa Sat, one of the many hawker markets here in Singapore. It is absolutely bustling because it is peak hour lunchtime. This is probably one of the most well-known hawker centres in Singapore. It's actually built in 1894 and has over 80 different food stalls. So there are so many different options. I've got no idea what we're going to get, but we'll pick something out that's good. The actual building itself is so beautiful. It's like this Victorian style structure. From the outside you'd have no idea what it houses on the inside, but it is absolutely crazy in here, and we can't wait to try some food. Okay, first up we have some Hokkien mee from Golden Shoe Hokkien mee. Now from all my research, if it's your first time at Lau Pa Sat, everything said you have to try some Hokkien mee, and apparently this is one of the best places to get it from. Yummy.
We also have some chicken rice, which I'm told is quite a classic dish to get when you're in Singapore. So we'll give it a go.
Now a lot of people talk about how expensive Singapore is, but the hawker markets are actually a really great affordable place to try some very authentic food. This hawker market here has every cuisine. There was Indian, Korean, there was a Mexican place, we got Chinese, Malaysian, everything, and the food was actually relatively affordable. And this is actually one of the more expensive hawker markets because it is right in the centre of the CBD. But our chicken and rice was actually $5.30, and the Hokkien mee was about $7.50, I believe. So both very affordable options, and similar across the board.
I'm halfway through my chicken and rice, and I've only just now realised that there was a bowl on my plate. Do you think I was supposed to dip or like pour that in? It's like a broth. I'm gonna give it a go. To be honest, I think I preferred it without the broth. Still good.
And as Rosh mentioned before, chicken rice is a very kind of traditional dish here in Singapore. You'll find it all the hawker markets. We're actually going to go to another hawker market in Chinatown in a couple of days' time and try another place which is meant to be famous for its chicken rice. Perhaps we'll even try the steamed version this time, and we can compare it with the roast version we got today. As it's our first day of our trip, we have splurged a little, and I've got a third thing to try. Just a classic vegetable samosa that was only $2. Why not? Yummy. Spicy. A hint of spice, not overly spicy, but definitely a little kick. It's good.
Lau Pa Sat is set up with different streets. We're really excited to go to one particular one called Satay Street, which opens up a bit later on tonight. We've heard really good things, so hopefully we can come back a bit later. Guys, we've made it to see the Merlion here in Singapore. Actually, I think I can show you a better one. That's more like it.
We have finally made it to the Merlion Park. It is kind of stopped raining, it's like spitting now, but we have the magnificent Merlion behind us, which is a very iconic symbol of Singapore. You can see head of a lion, body of a mermaid. It's very cool. Obviously we've had to get the iconic shots of trying to catch the water in our mouths. It hasn't worked so far. Delicious. It has finally completely stopped raining here in Singapore, and let me tell you, it feels like 10 degrees hotter instantly. We've been cruising around all morning, walking around. I actually felt like comfortable. We're in singlet and shorts, not too hot, not too cold, but the sweat is happening now. It is very, very humid. So a fun fact for everyone, I actually used to live in Singapore only for a year and a half, but that was about 21 years ago, and I've not been back until now. So 21 years since I last visited Singapore, when I was actually living here with my family, and let me tell you, it is a completely different place. Not that I remember a whole lot, but this big guy back here, Marina Bay Sands, one of the most iconic and well-known structures in Singapore, didn't even exist when I lived here, which was pretty crazy.
As we mentioned a few times in this video already, it rained a lot earlier on. It was tricky because a lot of what we wanted to do today was outside. Having said that, most of the time, like, we're pretty dry. Most of the time when we're walking, it's all undercover. Like, the city is pretty amazing for a number of reasons. Right now, my top one is that pretty much wherever you walk, there's always somewhere to be undercover. Maybe because it's a tropical place and they expect to have a lot of thunderstorms. I appreciated those undercover areas. Thank you very much.
Guys, it's our first time seeing Marina Bay Sands in person, and it kind of lives up to the hype. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure if we'll make it up to the sky deck today. It's pretty overcast, keeps raining on and off, so it's probably not worth it. View's probably not there, but I really wish we were staying there so we could head up to that infinity pool right up there on the roof. The views up there must be incredible to begin with, let alone if you're up there swimming.
Liar. What? There's no way you want to get in that infinity pool and look over the edge.
I would. I wouldn't.
Come on. No.
I skydived. I can do it.
No, you skydived. I'd like to have that on the record. She said that with a smile. Usually she talks about that experience pretty aggressively towards me. I won't lie.
Still did it. Done it twice.
Check out the video if you haven't already. It's pretty funny. We are currently wandering on the Jubilee Bridge towards the Helix Bridge, because we've been told there's a man there that sells really good ice cream, and that's all you need to say to Rosh and Stacey to get them to go somewhere.
Now that it's not raining, we need to cool down. So my big guns already broke the sunscreen in half. I was just, applying sunscreen to my massive guns, and I broke it. We've almost finished crossing the Helix Bridge. It's a 280 metre long bridge that completes the 3.5 kilometre loop that connects the Marina Centre with the bayfront area. Now the bridge itself composes of two interlocking, spiralling steel rods, and these are meant to resemble the double helix structure of DNA and symbolise life and continuity, renewal, everlasting abundance and growth, reflecting the key aspirations for the Marina Bay area. Apparently it also even lights up at night, so we might have to come back around this area at night and see what it looks like. So I think it would look pretty incredible.
Guys, we're just about at the end of the Helix Bridge, and I'm sad to report that there has been no ice cream man in sight. Stace has misled me.
You'll be hearing from me. Not impressed.
So right behind me here is a sculpture called Moon Gate. It was made to envision a portal which signifies those who arrive here and leave here, and if you look really closely, you might see where our next destination on our day today is. Oh, all my editing's really bad and it doesn't work. We are here at Gardens by the Bay, and our first stop is at this sculpture, the world's longest sculpture. It's called Love the Last March. And basically what it's there to symbolise is that humanity needs to get back to being one with the animals, being one with nature, promote sustainability. It's really, really cool. It's 192 metres long, and there are plenty of different animals all linking up. It's really cool. Just chilling with Stacey's worst enemy, the anaconda. This sculpture really is huge. I haven't even followed all along its length, but you can see that it weaves along the pathways here at Gardens by the Bay with plenty of different animals all linking up as one, like a baby elephant links up to its mama, and each sculpture has a little plaque underneath it telling us a little bit about the animal that it represents and educating everybody about the dangers that these animals are now facing because of us humans.
Moving on from the world's longest statue, we're now looking at something that's a bit bigger in scale in the opposite direction.
Now there is also a night show here where the super trees are. We're not going to be here for that tonight, but that will be in a different video when we come back in the next few days.
Now, entrance to Gardens by the Bay is actually free, so you can walk around the grounds and it is completely free. There are a few different extras you can pay for. Some of the most well-known ones would be the Cloud Forest and the Flower Dome, which are actually meant to be really, really cool. Not sure if we'll squeeze it in our budget, but we will keep you posted. And the other smaller ones you can do is go up on like the sky deck and the observatory and things like that. So there are a few paid experiences, but for the most part you can wander around and explore for free, which is pretty cool. Guys, something we've noticed about Singapore is just how luscious it is. There is greenery absolutely everywhere, and I know we're in Gardens by the Bay at the moment, so it's in the name, but even looking up at Marina Bay Sands, every single balcony is lined with greenery.
And even as we're walking through the main part of the CBD, there's just greenery everywhere, and it's not just eye-level greenery. You look up, balconies, rooftop gardens, it's everywhere, and it makes you wonder, New York City, you know it as the concrete jungle. Well, Singapore should be known as
just the jungle city.
The jungle city, because that's what it feels like. Everywhere you look, there's green somewhere, and it really makes it feel nice and clean, fresh and luscious, as Stacey said. Big word.
There are plenty of public transport options here in Singapore, but there are also a number of ways you can go about purchasing your tickets. So you can get just your regular card that you load money onto. I believe you can also just tap using like your contactless payments, like your credit card or your Apple Pay, things like that. Or you can also get a Singapore tourist card, so you can do a 1, 2 or 3 day. We opted for the 3-day ticket, which was $34 Singapore dollars. You get $10 back if you return the card within 5 days after the 3-day period. So we'll let you know if we think it's worth it in the end, depending on how often we use the public transport and things like that. Well, it's been a long first day here in Singapore, but we've had so much fun. We're so glad the rain lifted, and I wouldn't say we got sunshine, but at least it wasn't raining anymore.
We will take it. It made everything doable, which was nice. With that being said, that's it for us today. So make sure you like the video if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you want to join us for this really huge adventure that we are taking on. And we'll be happy to have you.
We'll see you on the next video.
Okay.